My father came from Dublin, and that's a very hard thing for a Cork person to take, a Dublin man, because it's not. I don't have anything against the Dublin people as such, because my father was one of them actually. Sorry, one of them. Now, you'd wonder why we say things like that, it's probably not politically correct, but if you really think about it, they call us things like bogmen, culshies, and even when the Dublin man went to America, he was the first man to bring in that term in America, redneck. So we were everything that you wouldn't want to call your mother, or your sister, or the girl you were going to marry. And when they arrived in 1947, my father, I think he thought he was a really Superman, because he looked a bit like James Dean, He drove this big motorbike. It was the first motorbike that kind of arrived into the area with telescopic suspension. So he was able to move up and down on the saddle, which was very unusual. Up to then, there had been rigid frames, and the bikes on the roads down around West Cork, they were pretty rough. So I suppose, in a sense, when he arrived to my grandmother's house, and she took another look at him and she said, I'm delighted you brought my daughter back. Oh God, it's lovely. My mother was just the happiest woman in the world. Must have been because it must have been around then that they got kind of together and had a bit of hoochie coochie, because I was born a year later. 2 years later, as a matter of fact. So they must have been doing it for 2 years, because I was born in 1949, the week that the Republic was declared. So it was a very interesting time, really, when my dad arrived. He thought, now, I'm a dub in West Cork. I'm going to show these people, bring a little bit of kind of urban dwelling to them. So when I was born in 1949, my mother was thrilled. She said, oh Jesus, the flag went up. He came out and the place will never be the same again. Because she had her own little Cork bike. And no Irish mother from Cork feels complete until she has her own little Cork bike. It have to be Cork bike. Now, that had a drawback for me really as a child, because